Okay, there it is.
What?
Welcome to YouTube.
Is it on?
Yeah,
It's on.
I'm sharing now.
Hello.
On. It says it's on.
I'm sharing now.
Let me go live over here. It was saying some error thingy. I have no.
There's error.
You sure
You
it's
haven't-
playing, Scott? For real?
This
What's
live.
that?
Is it literally playing?
I don't know. I'm sharing it right now.
Welcome to West Coast Wednesday here on Prospectors Radio with Kathleen Biffle, Rich Cooley, Scott Swiftwater Toney, Indiana Gold Hunter, Dennis Dayton, and your host, Tim Grimes. We hope you enjoy the show, and thanks again for listening.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another West Coast Wednesday right here on Prospector Radio. I'm your host, Tim Grimes, and joining me tonight, as always, we got Kathleen and Shad Biffle. The Wandering Buffaloes are here. Rich Cooley and Scott Swiftwater Toney.
Woo!
I knew he was going to do that. That's why I waited a second.
That's why you put me last.
Yeah. What's happening, guys?
Not a lot.
Sorry we missed Sunday's show.
What's Rich always call you guys? Part-timers?
Part-timers.
I'm doing it for half the pay now.
Part-timers. It's like, yep, okay. No,
Yeah, it's been like a couple weeks in a row there.
Hey, you know what, Rich? I think cumulative, we speak more than you do. So we make up for it.
Not on Cooley's Corner.
That's an exception.
I do a Cooley's Corner every Sunday, except for when we don't have a guest.
I know. He's like clockwork. So we had May's a busy month, you know, if you have kids.
Well, you got stuff going on with the graduations and all that stuff too, right?
Well, tomorrow is the drive-by or the drive-through graduation.
Oh, yeah.
ceremony.
We get to drive.
Drive by,
Oh my God, are they really doing that with you guys?
yeah.
Drive-by
Good
graduation.
Lord.
Hey,
And no graduation parties this year.
really?
You know what just makes me, at first, you can stand in line for Walmart. You can stand in line for Home Depot. You can stand in line for anything else, but the kids can't stand in line to walk up and say, thank you very much and walk off stage. Come on.
Mhm. I know, crazy, isn't it? It's that virus is really, really smart.
It's the corona.
Yeah.
It can go more than
Jump
6
6
feet.
feet.
That's the smartest virus ever.
Genius virus. I think it was invented by Dr. Evil.
Should have gave
And $1 billion.
I swear it was.
Oh, gosh.
Right, Shad?
That's right.
It had to be.
Well, it's good to be here, though.
Good to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you made it through the weekend.
We missed your weird walls, you know, even though
Did you get the camper ready?
We got
Yes.
the camper ready.
It is.
Cool.
good deal.
It's parked out front.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And here's the deal. You know, the place where we had it stored, like it was every place
Yeah.
at the time 2 years ago was filled up, and most places still you can't get a spot if you tried.
Right.
But this guy had one, and it was only because our camper was shorter.
And small.
So we're like in the far back right corner, right? I mean, you could brush up against pine trees, chain link fence,
I don't think it
train
was
right
really a
around you.
spot, but he made it and charges us $57 a
Yeah,
month.
which kind of
That's pretty good for where you're at.
But luckily, another place closer has expanded.
Yes.
They've, you know, had empty ground, so they made it into another lot,
And
and they're
it's
cheaper and a
closer.
bigger area to
Cool.
do and stuff. So that's cool. So it is sitting out front
Until
because
Monday
we
or
ended the
first.
contract at the other place just today, actually. So we
All right.
can't park it there now. And the new place, well, it doesn't start until the 1st on Monday. So
Gotta have
Sorry.
it parked in there all week.
Here come the homeowner association.
It's actually on the street, though.
that's right. Hooked up to
Oh, you're ticketed for sure. Not to mention there's going to be 4 packages on your steps when you walk back out.
Oh, I'm sure we guy from somebody.
Hey, it's from the coronavirus. So I apologize. It's a
That's
big,
fine, right. I mean, tell them.
We're quarantining somebody
Yeah,
in there.
we're quarantining the camper.
Oh, that's,
You know,
a good idea.
after it's been in storage.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
could,
hey, it's always a good thing when you get it out and there hasn't been any
No
leaks.
leaks.
nice. Yeah, that always makes you happy, right?
That's a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but you only get that if you go through a hailstorm.
What?
Yeah, where we store it, it's not covered. So
Right.
no flat tire, nothing. It was
Dang. Well, that's good. Good news.
That's real good.
So we're hoping maybe this weekend we can get out, even for just like one night or
take it
something.
for a dry
Just to
run,
get out, you know.
before the flash bash.
Flash bash.
Flash bash. Say it.
Flash bash.
Thank you, Shad.
Well, Scott disappeared, huh?
I guess.
He's laughing.
Un momento, por favor.
Oh God, what is he doing? Makes me even wonder.
Hard to tell.
It is hard to tell, Rich.
Oh man, it looks like I missed Weigold's birthday on Sunday,
I
huh?
told him happy birthday.
Well, I mean, on the show, I
Oh,
usually get to say the
yeah.
birthdays.
And Shad, it was his mom's birthday and his sister's birthday at the same time.
Yeah.
No way.
wow.
All three of them?
Two of them at the-
No,
That's what I said. I think it's planned.
That had to have been planned. Maybe the first one, like Weigold, after his mom had the same birthday, and I was like, wow. And then they were like, you know what, for this next
Let's
one,
keep this
it's
going.
got to be. And they're like,
Let's keep
down
this
to the
going.
wire.
I mean, what's the odds of that though? That's
Very
Happy
slim.
birthday, Weigold.
astronomical.
And Weigold's mom and sister.
Yeah, right. It's like that's just amazing odds. So, your two kids, your birthday.
Yeah, you say, what's the odds? I'm like, hey, Tim, have you won $1 million ticket yet in the lotto?
Oh, you did.
That's the odds.
I got within one day of my son's mom's birthday, but I thought that was astronomical.
Yeah, that is. Sorry, I had to think of that one real quick.
You know what I mean? It's like 15th, 16th. It's like, but to have it the same day, two kids, that's amazing. Unless they're twins.
Well, see, my birthday is
Yeah.
March 24th, so 3/24.
Mhm.
I was born, and this is on my birth
It's
certificate.
true. True
She's
story.
seen it at 3:24 a.m. on 3/24.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. And you don't play that number every day, Shad?
No,
324?
I don't.
We should.
You should.
Wonder how many times that's hit.
Yeah, right? In some form. 234.
Like
Right.
Maybe I'll have to get on to the lottery and do the little
Yeah, check
last
Yeah, past
1,000
winners.
signs.
see. You know, because it might come out 432, 234.
Crunch the numbers, dude. Crunch the numbers. You're a computer guy, man.
You should play that number, Shad. That's pretty cool. That's
All
weird.
right, I will.
That's weird. Do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Lisa,
It's unique.
Lisa's an accountant. One time we crunched numbers on what won that last month. How many, how many times did 0, 1, 7, 2, how many? We actually come up with a number. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. The next day I didn't go buy a ticket. The next day I went back to buy a ticket with those numbers. The day before, those numbers actually won. I would have won $500 on a pick 3. I'm like, really?
Bullshit.
Hey, dude, I got Lisa for a witness. You don't think, she ain't gonna lie.
Lisa tells the truth. I believe it.
We believe her.
It's if you're dealing with what, 3 numbers? Was it 3 numbers or?
Yeah, 3. Pick 3.
Yeah, it's
Okay, pick 3. Sorry, I
Yeah.
was in my head. It was like the Mega Millions.
No.
So, okay,
I could see
Oh, that
that.
sheet would have been long.
I could see it.
Yeah, we believe Lisa, not Scott.
Yeah, somehow she did. She went to work with it, and they got a number crunching system that they have on their computer, and she put like all the data in, which didn't take her hardly anything to type that stuff in, and then it come out like 037
What
was
was
the most commonly picked numbers in a pick 3.
what's that number sound again, Scott? How'd that go?
I'm gonna write it.
037.
The sound you made, the number sound. What was that? Do it again.
A number in the pick 3?
Yes, it is.
That's not a number.
Wait a minute. I don't know if it is. Let's check. See,
Is it?
Are you checking the number, Shad?
can you pick 0 and pick
Oh, God, yeah, you can.
lottery?
And let me give you a little history. And
I think it goes 0 to 10. It was 037.
0 to 9.
in the Pennsylvania lottery, that 324, your lucky number, hit
That was the number?
324, right?
Yeah.
All right. It hit on a Pennsylvania lottery on April 27, 2019. And it hit on 3/18/2019.
Wow.
And January 15th, 2018. But other than that, box did hit a whole bunch of times.
I was gonna say, what about boxed? Yeah.
If you boxed, it did hit a whole bunch of times.
Look at that.
Get on that train, Chad.
The box is only 40 bucks. The rate is 250.
Let's start playing at box,
I
Chad.
need a new koi pond.
7
The
days a week.
lotto.
Are you kidding me? It looks like a freaking swimming pool in Arizona, except for the water's darker.
And smells fishy.
It smells like koi.
And yes, 0 is a number you can select in the lottery.
Yes, it is.
Well, I know it is.
I
I
don't know
just
if
told
we-
you that.
Circle back to that. Well, I don't believe you, Scott. Say.
Well, you speckled egg.
Like 000 if you want.
Triple zero. I don't think that one's in there.
That one.
I wonder how often that comes up. Probably never.
That would be probably in the odds of somebody hitting the $100 million ticket.
That's
Well,
probably-
speaking of not coming up, our gold prices went down $1 at 1,713.
It's okay. It's only $1, folks.
Only $1. However, silver, well, that one rose to the challenge, moving up 13 cents at $17.68.
Pitching.
Ooh,
Look at that.
smoking, folks. Smoking.
Now, platinum's flying kind of low, but shot up $5 at $879.
Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Then
Palladium
palladium
still go down.
Palladium shot up $14 at $1,979.
What the-
So look at that.
In 3
now.
days? Seriously?
Big rhodium's the question.
Big rhodium. Well, guess what? That didn't do a daggone thing. It stayed flat at $8,700.
Punch.
I figured
Eight
with,
punch.
I figured with the SpaceX nonsense that it would shoot up like crazy.
Yeah, I that's too bad that the
Weather was
that
bad.
launched.
I know, I'm bummed out. I was looking forward to that.
I think the next one they said was the 30th.
Saturday they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope it gets up then. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, actually. You know?
It is more so than people
It's
realize.
been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. From the retiring the space shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. It's been like 9 years since we've been to orbit or something like that. I don't know, something weird, but
You're gonna mine for gold out in space.
I guess maybe that's what he's up to. He's up to. He's a genius.
This time it's a private company doing it.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yeah, from Tesla fame. But that rocket's spiffy too, ain't it?
Well, the rocket is, and then they got like really futuristic
Yeah.
space suits on now.
Cool. I mean, it's like
That's crazy.
it's nice. It's like, yeah, it took a private company to make space look cool.
Well, you got to think also during the time back when pretty much the space program went to down the flame. The last president cut all the funding for it, so that's why we were always hitching rides with Russia and other places.
Yeah.
Did you guys actually get to see the rocket up close, like on the pictures?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've looked at the pictures.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like a new car.
It's shiny.
Do you have to charge it at a charging
I
station?
mean, just the shape and everything. I'm like, really?
How long is the extension cord to plug it in to charge it up? It's a good question. How many miles can you go on a single charge?
I just think it was funny because if you go back to the last stuff we were actually launching in space, which would be the space shuttles, and then you go to this rocket, you're like, oh, it's a new vet. Check that out. It's just all the shapes and the bells and the whistles.
Yeah.
Spiffy. And then when that bottom section comes off, it comes back down and lands on a friggin' barge out in the ocean.
I want to watch that. Yeah.
I want to see.
Instead of just popping into the ocean.
Yeah, no more of them days are gone. We're reused.
All right, if it really does do that, then I'm going to be like, what other technology is everything being, holding out on us?
I mean, that's pretty.
Well, there's a reason there's a space station being built, folks. Hello.
Why is it being built, Scott?
You
Yes.
never do know.
Godism time.
Do you think we're the only ones in this whole solar system? Somebody's crazier than bat crap.
Do you believe in aliens, Scott?
Nope, but I believe there's something else out there. We ain't the only people around.
Well, wouldn't that be?
So there's
Really,
other
space is
people
like
around,
infinite.
huh? Other people, not aliens. They're
Right.
people, huh? Is that?
So there's another planet with another Scott on it.
Doesn't
I
that
don't
scare
think,
the
I
living
don't think they'd be
crap
that
out of
lucky.
the parallel universes, the alternate dimensions that we all have our other selves in them. Can you
Yeah.
imagine what the other selves of Scott's like? One's probably very refined and probably. Well, yes, good sir.
Shad, he's like the Monopoly guy. Do not go.
Maybe he is.
Oh, you funny guys. You.
That's the refined Scott. He's got his monocle and his top hat.
Yeah, that's one thing, Scott. You always talk about getting these things like the monocle. We were dying to see that, and you didn't deliver.
I got a monocle.
Get it.
Well, where is it?
Where is it? I want to see
You got to
it.
break that bad boy out.
You get it right now.
Yeah, go get it right now. You're not at camp. Go get it.
No,
Right.
I think I might have left my monocle at camp.
Ah,
But maybe it's not. Maybe it's by
Maybe
there.
he's
I might
wearing
look for it.
come on, Scott. Go get it out of your drawer. Put your monocle.
Hang on, I'll see if I can
Oh, it's
find it.
just like the snorkel. God, I wish you
Snorkel.
had the snorkel.
I know. I think he should reorder the Squircle, in my opinion. He should go ahead and get it. He's home now. No reason not to have a Squircle.
3 months later.
Right? He'd have it by now if he would have been patient. His Squircle would be in his garage with his 6-inch dredge.
So our airline tickets to Alaska,
Uh-huh.
as you know, they're going through all of the COVID restrictions about the seats. So yesterday I got an email that my flights have changed, and they didn't change Shad's.
Well, and she was like, well, this actually happened the day before yesterday.
Oh.
And she got really upset. And she's like, why don't you call them? I said, just trust me. I might get updated sooner. Maybe.
That's not what you said.
I said some other things. Like, shut up. Stop worrying about it. Whatever.
Awesome.
There.
Well, I mean, okay.
So that means Kathleen's going and you're not.
When we first booked this airfare, they just opened a new route from Columbus to Seattle, then Seattle to Fairbanks. I
Right.
mean, that's unheard of. Usually we had to go to
Stop in
last
Miami.
time we went to Atlanta to Seattle.
All right.
You do some crazy stuff. So, hey, airfare was going to be cheaper. So we
Sure.
booked our tickets. Then the Corona came. Well,
Mhm.
then we had to adjust our dates a little bit. They got rid of that new little jump from Columbus to Seattle, but I found another good one. I was really happy and excited. It was Columbus to Minneapolis to Fairbanks.
Yeah, that was even better.
So that was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
And then she gets her email.
and
and then-
guess what?
Now we're going, well, okay. And then last night I got mine finally, and it's the same flight. And, all but one flight, we sit right next to each other.
Oh, okay.
It's the smaller plane of the
Yeah,
one
it's a
that we
smaller
don't
plane.
sit, but they are 60% capacity, but now we're flying just like we did last time. Columbus. Well, actually, no, as you were. We're flying Columbus to Seattle. Well, no, Columbus to Minneapolis to Seattle.
Yeah,
At least we're not going to Atlanta, then to Seattle, because that was so long.
and you have to wear a mask
Yes.
the whole
Of
time.
course.
And you only get water, no alcohol.
They don't give you alcohol, but they'll give you water.
Oh, I'm taking another flight.
One bottle.
And you don't get food; you get a box lunch
What?
or a snack.
And
or
no,
whatever.
yeah, you
In
get
a
a
box.
snack.
So when you walk in the airport, you got to put your mask on.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think you do. Yes.
Yeah, probably.
You're pretty much wearing it for a long time.
Yeah,
You guys can always do what I do. I always go get like 5 or 6 of those little bottles from the liquor store and I pack them in my suitcase. They don't say shit about
well,
it.
yes, I plan to really read the fine print for a change.
To see if we
On
can do
what you
that.
can take, and I will push the limits on taking what we can.
Right.
Because I mean, sorry,
That's the ice.
that's the ice machine. Yeah, it just stinks. I mean, some of those flights are long, and if you don't get a little snack, not even a little peanut,
I don't
you
know.
know.
Right. That's I guess they want you to stick them up under your mask.
And then they put in there, some airports have reduced operations in the terminals, so meaning less foodstuffs and whatnot. So
Right.
what are you supposed to do?
Now, is there a space between you guys in the aisle?
No, well,
Kathleen, seat?
no.
They had the seats
because-
Xed out, the middle seats.
Yeah, the middle seats, but because we're married, we're able to sit next to each other.
Right,
The
okay.
only one is the really tiny plane where there's only 2 and 1, so
All right.
we're behind each other.
Okay.
So basically, you don't get to pick your own seats anymore for early bird flights and stuff.
Well, you do, but it changes all the
They'll
daggone
change it.
time. Yeah, because
Due to
like
COVID.
due to COVID.
Yeah. But
Okay.
normally,
Yeah,
pick your seat.
just remember, Rich, if you got enough money, you were the earliest.
Yeah.
I guess.
I usually get early bird.
The early bird. Dang.
So yeah, speaking of the early bird, let's hear some birthdays.
Early bird birthdays. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Scott, why don't you sing us a little tune?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to whoever. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Better with your monocle in.
Yeah.
I couldn't find my monocle. I don't know where it went. I couldn't find it.
Where's the monocle?
I
All
think
right,
I left it up in the trailer.
gold diggers and treasure hunters. Today it's your birthday. If your name is Greg Aldred, Jason, Larry Board, Ralph Antonelli, Richard Duke, Rick McCombs, Russ, Tim Piernan, sorry, Tristan, and then tomorrow we have Arthur Walton, B. Betrozoff, sorry, Burning, Bill, Dan Lecourcier, Greg B., Jaron Nata, Patrick Grissom, Raylan Justice, Scott Turner, and William Holt. My God, there's some challenging names. Happy birthday.
You did good. You didn't butcher very many.
Where's that one name you said?
Prostrostov. I want to see Prostrostov. Is that Russian or not? Eh?
Are you done? Bill Dan.
Definitely need the monocle.
That's all that he took away from that.
Yeah, did you say Burning Bill Dan on the one name?
Which one?
One name, it sounded like you said Burning Bill Dan.
Let me
They
go
were
back.
3 separate people.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
two.
there's Burning, and
Burn.
then there's a Bill, and then there's a Dan.
Yeah, I thought it was one person.
Yeah.
Go NASCAR.
Good NASCAR.
Ooh,
Burnings.
NASCAR.
Why don't you highlight Burning?
Well, that's tomorrow's his birthday, though.
Oh, well, I mean.
Fine, we'll do Burning.
Do Burning.
Burning, right? From Arnold, California. Good old West Coaster. He pans, he sleuths, and he snipes for gold. He doesn't belong to any clubs, but he found the site through none other than Cecil, CCV, NC.
Wow.
I think Cecil wins the referral.
Oh, without a doubt or none. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
Mhm.
But Burning, well, he joined back in 2012.
Okay. And that's pretty much it.
And Betrozov, Scott, is from Raymond, Washington, not Russia. I'm sorry to let you down.
What are you talking about? That's right across the water.
In the motherland.
But it's not Russia.
Close enough.
Can't even skip a rock to it, so it's not close enough.
No, you're not skipping a rock that far, that's for sure.
No, so not the motherland, Scott. No, sorry.
I was thinking when you said that Pastrostroff, I was like, oh, sounds like Mother Russia.
If you had your monocle in and did that, that would be funny stuff.
I know.
Go get your monocle tomorrow, Scott.
You know, I kind of want to see, since Scott is evidently so fascinated with this Russia stuff,
Right.
I think he needs to get one of the, big, tall Siberian hats types, and, do the kicking dance and stuff.
He would look the part. Shad, picture him with that hat on.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? Just let you guys know, I got like two or three friends that are in Russia, and they're gold diggers, and they do pretty darn good over there.
There's a lot of good gold in Russia.
Well, that's not what I was saying, but yes, you got good gold out there.
I'm with you, Shad. I'm following you. Trust me. He would look just like it.
Gonna wear 100.
Speaking of trusting, I think
degree
Kathleen
hat.
has news tonight.
So you got some news tonight, Kathleen?
You.
All right. Well, let's take a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with Dredging Up the News with Kathleen Biffle.
The Biffalo.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands. You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. A sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their Miners Legal Fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight, and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
It is time for Dredging Up the News with Kathleen Biffle. Mining news from around the globe, metal detecting, dredging, entertainment news, and fun facts as well. Here's Kathleen.
Okay, so I tried to sit off to the side, but he's still in the way, the picture behind me. It's May 27th, 2020, and I'm going to start off with a story in Tampa, Florida. A Tampa-based treasure hunting company says it was scammed by a man with a padded resume and a Peruvian death mask. It was probably a tourist thing you would buy at some kind of souvenir shop, they're saying. But anyway, the treasure hunting company filed suit against Michael Torres of Melbourne, and that's Australia. They filed a lawsuit for fraud. The lawsuit was filed in Hillsborough County, Florida, and it says that Torres told Seafarer, the company, that he received a doctorate degree from Duke University, a Purple Heart from being injured in Afghanistan, and when he served 2 tours with Army intelligence. And according to the lawsuit, Torres also told Seafarer he could build a revolutionary machine to find gold and silver buried on the seafloor. A revolutionary machine. The lawsuit says that the company compensated Mr. Torres with more than 60 million shares of its publicly traded stock, which is probably worth about $500,000. But he also got a $96,000 a year salary and more than $6,000 in travel reimbursements. So they want that back. And then they're also going to sue for punitive damages against Torres. But I guess by the time Torres showed them the death mask, the fake death mask, I guess, they were already suspicious of him. So more to come on that story. They see what happens there. That was crazy.
Crazy.
Yes. So I'm going to skip over to global news now. In South Africa, the coronavirus outbreak has closed the Monopeg. I don't know how to say this. And how do you do this sound? MPO.
MPO.
Oh.
It's a sound.
Is it a silent P or something?
No, it's faux.
I don't know. It's called the MPONENG mine. It's the world's deepest gold mine. They closed it down due to 164 workers tested positive for the coronavirus. However, they weren't suffering from symptoms. The global gold mining company Anglo Gold Ashanti said it conducted 650 tests last Thursday, including primary contacts and many others who wish to be tested voluntarily. All positive cases will be isolated in line with their national health protocols, with on-site facilities available for those who may need them. Okay. As a precautionary step, after discussions with the regulators and all that, because they were already running at 50% capacity, and now they're running at 0 or 1, or it's really low, so they just shut it down.
Makes sense.
So anyway, this mine is the deepest in the world. It goes, I guess it ranges from 1.96 to 2.38 miles below the surface, and that was back in 2018. So they've been mining since then. They are the largest gold producer globally and the largest on the African continent. They employ 34,263 people, or they did.
How could you not think about that being that deep in holy moly?
That's a lot of people they employ.
Yes.
Yeah, but 2 miles deep?
Yeah.
But they said South Africa was the hardest hit country in Africa, with 22,583 cases, 429 deaths, and 11,000 recoveries.
Man.
That's pretty heavy.
Well, when they say cases, they're including the ones who don't have the symptoms and carry it, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Sure.
Fact checked. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Sure.
All right, let's skip over to France. During the quarantine, it seems that children were outside playing because, the weather warmed up and it's nice to see kids outside playing now. For 2 brothers, it resulted in a valuable discovery. Their parents decided to leave Paris when France imposed a lockdown and moved to the family home in the town of Vendôme, which is southwest of the capital. So they went from their city home to their country home.
Okay.
So these little boys were playing. They're like 10 years old, and they were making like, I guess you can call it a fort. When their father, he is a businessman in his 60s, for some reason that was in the article, he told them that they could use their late grandmother's sheets to help with their fort building, and that's in the spare room. So when the boys went to go get the sheets, 2 objects fell out that were pretty heavy, and they didn't really pay any attention to them, so they put them back. But when the boys told their father what had happened, he asked them to go get them, and lo and behold, they were gold bars.
Wow.
And they initially belonged to their grandmother. So the father contacted an auctioneer who confirmed, of course, it was gold. The two gold bars weigh 2.5 pounds each. Both bars are now listed on the auctioneer's website with an estimated value of $43,800 a piece.
Wow.
Pounds a piece?
And it turned out that they were indeed the grandmother's gold bars that she purchased back in 1967. It came with the proof of purchase.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine the thud that made on the floor?
Oh, yeah.
Boom!
You know, when I was 10 years old, I didn't really know how heavy gold was. So I would be like, oh, what is this?
Yeah, look at it. Dang. Pretty cool.
Yeah, but man, gold is gold. Man, even at 10 years old, I wouldn't know what gold is.
How much was gold back in 1967?
Shad?
You know, I'm trying to click buttons over here.
Rich, how much was gold in 1967?
I was born in 67.
How much?
Oh, see?
You were born in 67?
How much was gold when Rich Cooley was born?
Well,
50.
the gold price was around $35.50.
Yeah.
Wow. Man,
Wow, that's quite a profit they had
you
there.
ain't kidding. That's a heck of a profit, right?
Now that was an ounce.
All right. Well, I'm going to skip right over to fun facts now.
Okay.
We're going to go, talk kind of going in line with the first story. Scammers will always be out there. So in the past, I know I've talked about gold mining scams from, the gold rush and, some as recent as, 20 in the 80s. Was it the 80s or the 90s?
Sure.
My fact check person. Anyway, tonight I'm going to continue with that, but more about treasure hunting, the treasure hunting scams that seem to happen a lot. I think a lot more these days than like gold mining scams.
Right.
So we're going to talk about these stories that duped everyone. Treasure hunting is often, we know that it's not easy. And then some folks, risk their lives to do this. They invest a lot of money. They get investors to invest in them. And that is a lot of the scams that go on there. So I'm going to start with this story. In 1988, Tallahassee, Florida, 5 people were trying to cash in gold into the gold fever when they were arrested of charges of running a treasure hunting scam that fleeced $1.7 million from 700 investors. There was a treasure salvage company, but the only treasure found, of course, was the money that they took from the investors. Back in 1988, however, and this was interesting to read about, there were actually as many as 15 other treasure hunting fraudulent investigations going on at the time because of, going off the success of Mel Fisher.
Right.
He is very successful treasure hunter in Florida. God rest his soul. But anyway,
but didn't he hunt like more offshore, right?
Oh, Mel Fisher? He found the I forget what.
Yes, it was mostly offshore.
Yeah, the Atosha or whatever it was, right, Kathleen?
Yeah, it was the wreck, and found lots and lots of money. But it was a Spanish galleon that they found, but I don't know what the name was. But anyway, this company was riding off, the coattails where they had actually bought a ship from Mel Fisher. They bought a small amount of his treasure so they could show it as their own, as their finds using Mel Fisher's name. So of course people are going to invest, and that's what they did. And then they found out that it was a scam. They were going to put the stuff in a museum and have it built, and the museum was never built. So
thanks for the money. Bye-bye.
Pretty much. They were arrested and charged with multiple counts of fraud, securities fraud, sale of unregistered securities, and racketeering. They were indicted by a grand jury, and there were 3 companies actually involved in that suit that they went together. It was Donovan's Tesoro USA, Jones Tesoro Limited, World Treasure Finders Inc. So those were the 3 companies that they
created. That hurt them bad.
Yes. So I think that so that was that story. I'm going to go off to another odd story. This one's really odd. I don't know how much it has to do with treasure.
It's not gold.
So look at this behind me. You see it?
It's a dead body.
Well, the Cardiff Giant is what he's known as. He was found by 2 laborers on a farm on the farm of William Newell in Cardiff, and this is in the New York area in 1869. It was claimed that this 10-foot figure was the petrified remains of a man who was possibly an ancient predecessor of the Ananga. I can't pronounce it. Sorry. People. Thousands of people flocked from miles around to see what they thought was proof of an ancient race from the book of Genesis. Actually, I guess that's what these people are from. They would pay 50 cents each for the privilege of looking at it, which is about almost $10 today. It was eventually sold to some businessman and sent on a tour. Some were skeptical about the validity of the giant, although its popularity just skyrocketed. Months later, however, Newell's cousin George confessed that the giant wasn't real. An atheist had created the hoax with help from Newell to prove a point about the relationship between faith and science. The Cardiff Giant has been on show at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown since 1947.
Oh, wow.
And there it is.
That's cool, though.
So what was it?
1947.
It wasn't a giant.
Like paper mache.
Oh, they just made it.
Hey there, Scott.
Paper mache. Well, they made money off of the $10 a ticket.
All right. Back in the day, that was actually a big thing when somebody had like things of canisters, like they might not be real, but like the 3-armed chicken or something, just crazy.
Oh, yeah, they would call like the
sideshow.
Yeah, you'd have to go through it back then. You'd have to.
Yeah.
The sideshows.
Yeah, people weren't that educated. And the people that were that educated were smart enough to freaking utilize that against people that weren't that educated.
Right.
So like
put a couple things together. What's that?
This picture right now.
This is kind of weird.
It looks like the guy is checking her out.
Yeah, playing under a magnifying glass.
Let me duck down and you can kind of see what it is. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. What this is a tiara of Santa Ferns, which was acquired by the Louvre in 1896. Expert claimed that the crown was a gift from a bunch of weird names tonight. Olbia, which is a Greek colony in what is now known as Ukraine. In this 3rd century BC.
That's right beside Russia, by the way.
Near there, yes. And Lithuania. At the time, Greek and I guess they call them Scythian artwork, they were from Russia. It was a highly sought after all across Europe to get artwork from there. But while the British Museum and the Imperial Court Museum in Vienna both passed on buying the treasure, the Paris-based museum had no qualms about snapping it up for $200,000 or 200,000 French francs. Sorry. In 1903, Israel Rakamolsky, he was a goldsmith from Odessa, where this was found. He came to Paris and he claimed So he claimed he had been tricked into making the tiara for this person, which features, there's, I guess, scenes carved in it of like Homer's Iliad. The Louvre stood its ground, but was forced to admit its experts had been duped.
Wait a minute. So somebody was wearing that thing on their head?
Yeah, back. Yeah.
Are you? It looks like a bell.
What it looks like, a bell.
It's a tiara.
It's a tiara. So anyway, the Louvre it is like one of the most, isn't it the most renowned museum in the world or something? Debatable. But anyway, they're duped by this thing. And they still own this crown, the Louvre does, but they do not put it on display. Okay, next story.
You know why, don't you? You know why they don't put it on display? It's a bell.
It looks like a bell.
It looks like a bell.
Maybe it was like a bishop's hat or something.
Okay.
All right, so this picture that you see behind me, I had to duck down. It's actually a picture of a skull.
Okay.
In this story, amateur archaeologist Charles Dawson found what he claimed to be the missing link between ape and man in 1912. He contacted Arthur Smith Woodward, who the then keeper of geology at the Natural History Museum in London. He contacted him about the piece and this human-like skull, and the pair worked together to locate further fragments in gravel beds in Piltdown village in Sussex, England. Experts at the time hypothesized that the remains were some 500,000 years old, but new dating techniques in the 1940s identified fragments as only being 50,000 years old, and in 1953, the reconstructed skull was exposed as a fraud. Not only were the bones nowhere near as old as they said, the jawbone was that of an orangutan, much to the embarrassment of the Natural History Museum. And in fact, the teeth had been sanded down to resemble those of human teeth. And they stained the other parts to make it more, aged. So they distressed it.
Get you through the drive-through, guys. They get you through the drive-through. I'm telling you.
Yep. And this is the skull that you see behind me.
Every time.
But you don't see me.
Well, that's so they could see the skull. I mean,
oh, okay.
Hey,
all right, I'm back.
It was worth $5 a look.
Now we go from skulls to mummies. And this is...
Oh boy, here we go.
Got to get your mummy on.
Got to get the mummy.
We all know mummies are real.
What?
Good job, Scott.
What'd you say?
Stop yourself.
I said we all know mummies are real.
I get it. Okay, so the police in the Pakistani city of Karachi caught wind of a man trying to sell a mummy on the black market for $35 million, and this was back in 2001. The mummy, which has said to have been found in the Baluchistan region near the Iranian and Afghan borders. It was wrapped in an Egyptian-style cloth and thought to be dated. It was dated about 2,600 years old, and they thought it was a Persian princess. Its discovery generated a ton of global interest, as mummies are generally not found in Iran. The mummy was moved to the National Museum in Karachi and nearly caused something of a diplomatic incident with both Iran and Pakistan claiming ownership. But experts grew suspicious of the find's authenticity, and after they did a bunch of tests, declared it to be the body of a 21-year-old female murder victim who had just died a few years earlier.
Oh.
Number one, if you're selling a mummy, you're a grave robber. I mean, come on.
I mean, how often do you just find mummies, now in Iran?
I don't know if you ever noticed, it seems like they find a lot in Karachi.
Is that how you say it?
I just like the name Karachi.
Is that how you say it?
I think so.
I just can't believe it.
Karachi.
Even if you're selling a mummy, guys, that's still grave robbing, which is highly illegal, I think, pretty much everywhere I've ever been.
Where'd you get it? In Karachi.
Right?
But when you think about it, that's how they buried their dead back then. And did you know that I watched a really
Yeah,
interesting?
but who dug him up?
What's
Some-
that?
Karachi.
I said, yeah, but who dug him up?
You done?
Yeah, but-
Anywho, that's how they buried their dead back then. And I just watched a really interesting documentary on one of my binge watching days about cemeteries in the world, in the United States, where they are selling plots for basically selling used cemetery plots.
Oh, that's interesting.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
there
double
was
stack
another
you.
documentary we watched though, where in I think it's Nepal or someplace where they have to save money to bury like a regular ceremony, so they put the bodies in the caves, and then they get them out every year
What?
for a festival and clean them up.
What
I kid you not, it's crazy.
the hell are you watching?
Morbid. I don't know. We watched some crazy things.
You could either get them taken out every year, or we're gonna have to double stack you in the graveyard. Which one would you like today?
Or they're even saying like, graveyards become forgotten because, cemeteries make their money from selling the plots. And when you sell them all, then what? So they get abandoned. Nobody takes care of the tombstones, and eventually they get forgotten, and people build on top of them.
That's weird.
That happens more than you think. And I was really amazed. I was like, oh, wow.
Wait,
I still like the idea of freaking being put in a seed bag and it grows a tree from you.
you're gonna
I mean, call me stupid, but I just think that's a pretty cool idea.
we'll plant you in Karachi.
Yeah, right? They're just gonna cut me down for a house after that. Are you crazy?
I'm going to be cremated.
Yeah, put my butt on a big pyre and set it on fire and dance around it.
Look at that silver bar.
Okay. I know. Look at it. Just look at it.
Okay,
It does.
You just look at it.
Okay, U.S. explorer Barry Clifford claimed that he found this 110-pound silver bar belonging to the 17th century Scottish pirate Captain William Kidd. He found it off the coast of Madagascar back in 2015. The treasure was said to have been retrieved from what was thought to be the wreck of the Adventure Galley and was brought ashore on the island of Santa Maria. Captain Kidd was first employed by the British authorities to tackle piracy, but later became a pirate himself.
Imagine
The
that.
ingot was presented to Madagascar's president at a special ceremony on Santa Maria, but just months later, UN cultural body UNESCO, I guess, poured cold water on their claims because they declared that the silver bar was in fact just a lead ballast that was the supposed wreck was simply rubble at the bottom of the sea. So Clifford's team stood by his claim that the bar was part of the hoard of treasure looted by Captain Kidd, who was tried and executed for piracy in 1701. So it's actually a piece of lead. But you thought it was silver.
Pretty shitty for lead, though.
I don't know what a bar of silver actually looks like.
Really?
No, I mean, I know what like polished silver is, and
Well, it looks like silver.
well, I mean, not a bar. I'm sorry. Like, if I were to see raw silver, I wouldn't know.
Oh, wrong stuff.
Me, the thing is I'm looking at the picture behind you. And I'm like, I've never seen lead that shiny in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty shiny. Maybe they buffed
Yeah.
it.
Polish it.
You figure 110 pounds too?
It was
I know.
110 pounds.
That's crazy, dude.
Them look like Oak Island symbols.
Do they?
It might help Rick and Marty find the treasure on Oak Island.
It's more valuable than scraps of wood.
I was gonna say that don't look like wood to me, but whatever.
At least you can use something with the lead, like diving weights.
Like sinkers.
But it still looks
And
old.
for everybody out there listening, we're not talking down. We're just waiting for them to find something.
It does look old. It looks cool, actually. I like all the little symbols on it. Gives it character.
And I will leave you with a story of a bottle of rare whiskey, of course. The Waldhaus Amsey Hotel in St. Moritz, Switzerland, had got hold of what was thought to be a very rare bottle of Scottish Macallan 1878 whiskey. Thought to be the only remaining bottle in the world. The bar value is around $300,000 for this thing. A Chinese customer paid nearly $10,500 for a glass of this rare
Holy
whiskey.
moly.
Surprisingly, the sale of the expensive nightcap, which is thought to be the highest amount paid for a dram ever, it hit the headlines. The attention led several whiskey lovers to approach the hotel, doubting the authenticity of the whiskey. The hotel opened an investigation into the bottle of whiskey, which was finally exposed to be a fake. In fact, the investigation revealed that the whiskey dated back to no further than 1970, deeming it almost worthless as a collector's item. So laboratory tests carried out by a company showed that the spirit was most likely a blended Scotch comprised of 60% malt and 40% grain. And for you, Scotch,
Came through the drive-through again. Bam.
it looks old enough, but
So it was a fake.
yeah, it was a fake
Just slap the fancy label on it.
by 100 years. I mean, it was like from the 1970s for real, but then they're claiming it was from the 1870s.
Wow.
Well, that's like some of the stuff you see. It says 100-year-old, saved 100 years. Oh, baloney. That ain't saved 100 years. You're going to be selling it in a bottle on a bar. It's not going to be in the liquor store, 100-year-old stuff. Get out of here.
Tell us how you really feel, Scott.
Well, I'm just saying, you gotta watch out because there's con artists everywhere.
Just saying.
Can you imagine just paying $10,000 for like this much?
Yeah.
Actually, that's more than a drum. That's
This is a drum.
a Shad drum is this.
Mm-hmm.
A real drum is about that much.
Yeah,
Shad,
but I want you to think about this. If they actually had an establishment where people could actually had that much money to walk in and buy $10,000 a thing, that's just where two fools met.
I know, right?
Just one says, well, you know what? We're going to raise this price by about $10,000.
Yeah, but whoever's spending $10,000 for a shot of whiskey just has money to burn. So
They got more.
Can you imagine being the server? Thanks for that $1,000 tip, bud.
don't spill any because it's like $200.
Spill it.
So Scott, speaking of craziness, have you taken a look in goldprospectorspace.com in the ongoing discussion of name Swiftwater's new gold camp? That the silence says you
want
have
that
not
as a
taken
no.
look.
Yeah, that means no. Yeah.
What'd you say again? I didn't hear you.
So there's a discussion on Gold Prospector Space where we're encouraging members to post ideas of names, pictures, drawings, and or a description of what you should name your new gold camp.
Right.
So I want to start and repeat some of these.
Yeah,
so
we gotta
again,
keep hearing them.
You got to keep hearing. You got to put it in perspective. Like, is it really as good as it was when it was the only one we got so far? Maybe. So, okay. So again, this is to name Scott Swiftwater's new gold camp. Toledo Jess instead. Just saying.
Just saying.
I remember that one.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dwight, though, he basically, the sign out front, it will say, "You just don't understand." Right?
Always make
But
me.
obviously, he does go into a little more descriptive detail of Scott Swiftwater's gold camp. He says, well, obviously, you would have donkey rides, Chihuahua racetrack, a catfish pond, a NASCAR go-kart track, a playground for mannequins, a half-service bar for fruity drinks, and
the
every
barbecue.
weekend, live seminars on how to get out of finding gold. Oh yeah, we said food stuff's be the barbecue, obviously.
He actually sat back and had to think about that one.
Yeah, he
Oh,
put
it's
that
a
in.
good one. So, of course, others, though, do agree with Toledo Jess is just saying. So, obviously, a popular one.
What are you naming your claims?
No. We got to get through this list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Now, Keith NNC states, you will call it the NDH camp. So, November Delta Hotel, right? Nothing done here. Now, Michael Shelby's got several, but one he says, welcome to No Show Camp, brought to you by Manny and No Show Scott. Now, Stephen France said Slim Pickens. It's a good one. Now, here's where Shelby evidently had some time on his hands.
He had an epiphany.
He came up with several suggestions. So, starting from the top here, we have the Hobbit Hole.
Mm-hmm.
The Hobbit Hole, really.
Frodo's Delusion. Manny's Revenge. Short People Not Mining. And then No Dwarfs Here. Hey,
I would have just called it the Shire. Let's just call it the Shire.
Now, there's two more. He has Chrome Dome's Reflection.
Oh my gosh.
And then Low Ceiling.
Ouch.
But the last one that we had just 2 minutes ago, Jaron put in, obviously wanting attention himself.
Uh-huh.
But he says, call it maybe next year.
Yeah.
What are you naming your claims?
Do what?
What are you naming your claims? Do you have
Well,
names?
the claims, we're still kind of thinking of the names. I mean, that list was all for the Gold Camp itself.
Yeah.
The claims,
I really like Just Saying, or You Don't Understand.
right?
Just saying.
Just saying's right there, man. I'm telling
Just
you.
saying.
Because I doubt Scott will be able to deliver on the entire experience that Dwight has laid out.
Right.
Never
You
know.
just don't understand. I don't see Scott investing that amount of time to have donkey and chihuahua races. And
This is going to be your home, though, isn't it? Isn't it going to be like your mining home?
Yeah, because we're up there 6-7 months a year.
Like a second home kind of thing, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It's
Cool.
it's just
And then,
summer home.
and then the old lady, she likes to do the camp and stuff. We've been doing that a while, and she said this year we're not doing that anymore. So
Hey,
just saying.
are you going to be
Just
around
saying.
like the first week of August?
what was that?
We're heading to Arizona again.
Yeah,
We're thinking first week of August, maybe.
August. That's before October.
Yeah, it's hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still you die.
Well, we need to experience it, so we're gonna go.
Oh, we're here. Just get in contact with us, but we won't be where we were.
Right.
Just saying.
Just
Just
saying.
saying.
Just
saying.
that's it. Just saying.
But if we have the house and everything's going, we will rent that baby out for you. Just saying.
Just saying.
I would love to see it. It'd be cool.
I don't know. So, Shad, was there any events?
Flash Bash. I mean, up here, not this weekend, but next weekend. Sorry, it's sold out, folks. They gave away 2 trips last night on the live show, and well, it wasn't you.
Apparently not, right?
That's
Once
right.
again, congratulations to them guys for selling out too, man. That's awesome. I just say.
Now, aside from, I'm sure a lot of clubs are slowly starting to get together in some areas. Make sure you post that information. A lot of the cool big events we always hear about, pretty much everything's being canceled. So
How about Gold Rush days?
I don't know.
Are they still
Yeah,
canceled?
I heard. I know
The Fossick usually comes up around this.
the Fossick's usually in June. Yeah. For Columbus. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of clubs will have outings, and just adhere to social distancing.
Sure.
But I think the big events like Gold Rush Days, that type of stuff, I think they're probably playing that by ear right now. But I mean, fireworks for the 4th of July. A lot of places are already canceling. Heck, I saw announcements for Labor Day stuff being canceled.
What? Really?
But again, like state fairs, all of it. So, yeah, again, I don't know.
Crazy.
They're going to try to drag this out as long as they freaking possibly can.
You know
At
it.
least until November.
Oh yeah, and then it's gonna go away. That coronavirus is pretty smart.
It is a smart virus.
It is.
Doctor.
Well, it was made in a lab for the particular reason. Hello.
Right. That's right. Dr. Evil created it for world dominance. So
Yeah, and she just actually showed back up in the news yesterday. So
who?
the lady that actually created the virus.
Dr. Evil?
And $1 billion. You know, really, she just, like they said, she was disappeared out of China for a long time, and 2 days ago she just popped back up.
Just
Dum,
say-
dum.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying, man.
Oh yes, this is something that we'll always remember. Drive-through graduations happening tomorrow, and then we have a virtual ceremony where you can hear the speeches from the valedictorians and such. So.
Just saying.
What is they going to broadcast it through your car radios?
Actually, yes.
Yes.
I kid you
Yeah.
not. There
Yes.
is a local station that will be used to broadcast the
Just like the
music
drive-in.
whatever going on. I don't know.
1 car per child.
And yeah, set your radio to AM 1120 and
There's something in the email really
Yeah, I
specific.
got to read up on it.
I like that Kathleen says 1 car per child. You know how many trucks are going to be there with the back fully loaded? Woo!
See, that's
thought
what
about
I
that.
said to do.
But I don't know if Riley would appreciate it, and we have the camper.
Yeah.
We'll just they specifically said no camper, so
No campers.
we'll drop the camper and leave it on the road in the subdivision.
they literally had to say no campers in the email.
Yes, no limos, party buses, and RVs. Because everybody's renting out a party bus to, go to a kid's graduation. Evidently, it must have happened.
You know what? That just ticks me off because not everybody's family's small. And that might be the only.
What about us?
That might have been the only guy that actually graduated, and everybody's really proud.
Well, yeah.
You just don't know.
And what about us? We have a blended family. So
Or
Awkward.
what if 3 of your kids are graduating at the same time?
Exactly. Well, they
Well,
said
then
if
you
you
get
had
a-
multiple kids, to contact them to discuss arrangements.
Oh, come
So
on.
do you guys got to stay in the vehicle, right?
Yes, we will pull. From my understanding, the vehicle will pull up.
the child will get out.
Obviously good dispersion in between vehicles, but yes, they will pull up when it is their turn. You don't have to be in specific alphabetical order, but there are time slots for A through C's, D's through F's, and so forth. But once it's your child's turn, you pull up. He or she will get out of the front passenger car, not the rear passenger, but the front. Very specific, important. Pay attention. She
Okay.
will then walk out to the principal, who will then be wearing gloves and a mask to present their quarantine and totally sanitized diploma. At that time, they will turn.
Oh, Lord, they
pose,
already-
take a
He
picture.
already said it wasn't.
Yep. And then the kid will return to the vehicle and you will drive off the property.
So you just have the window down and you get to take pictures of them there.
Pretty much. I always said we
But
could.
you can't get out of the vehicle.
Can't
Right.
get out of the vehicle. Yep. So it's interesting.
It'll be interesting to see what traffic is like.
That's how they do here. That's what they've done already here for our graduations.
Yeah. I guess the only nice thing is because they built another high school in the area, it's not like last year where there was like 1,000+ kids.
Still, it's going to be anarchy.
It's still
Yeah, it's
big,
going to be like the
It's
crash on the
still-
17th, 5 hours long.
Yeah. It's going to be, yeah.
Because people aren't going to follow it direction.
No.
Somebody with the name Z is going to show up right at 4 p.m. to get theirs. And they'll be like, what are you doing, man?
Right. Well, I'm Z, dude.
There's going to be that person. And then they'll be like,
I want to get it out.
you know.
Our slot is 4:30.
You got the 4:30 slot.
On Thursday.
You're ahead of Z. And that bunch that shows up with the whole family and didn't follow the direct. I didn't get the email, dude.
It just disappoints me seeing that stuff that, it's just
Hey, Scott, why you keep clipping your camera on and off nonstop, man?
No. Yeah.
why don't you worry about your camera and not mine?
There's a snake in my boot, Scott. What snake?
I've got a technical difficulty.
It
Well,
looked like the snake's coming over and, in his ear, the little tongue in the ear action.
I figured he was going to give his Rattlesnake Roundup report.
Hey, right now, folks, just grab a rope. They're out in Charms. You can find them anywhere.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
All you got to do is walk around aimlessly looking like an idiot. And they'll rattle at you, tell you.
They'll find you.
No, they're out. They're actually, this year has been like the year of the rattlesnake. We've already got like 3 or 4 people been bit on South Mountain hiking. I'm like, number one, don't wear earphones while you're hiking in the desert.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Well,
they're just excited. They got that soundtrack of their life going on.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? It's really funny because a lot of people don't understand this. When a coil snake when a rattlesnake coils up, it looks like a dry cow patty. Now, I don't know how many people seen cows walking up South Mountain, but I've never seen it. So you got to think, what's that doing there? I mean, and then,
That looks odd.
yeah, right. There's a cow patty in the middle of the trail. Let's go kick it. Nope, wasn't a cow patty. Give me
Who wants to go kick a cow?
Yeah. Why would you want to kick a cow patty?
You know what?
Yeah, who are these people you're hanging out with,
Dude,
Scott?
if they look like a dried out one, I'm not saying a greenie.
Matter. Why would you want to kick any of it?
Well, why would you want it in the trail?
Well, you wouldn't kick it. Let somebody else kick it. I'm
If
walking.
it's dry, you can fly it like a frisbee, dude. It's dry.
Whoa. Now you can fly it like a frisbee. What the heck are you doing out there, Scott?
Yeah, just like road cats.
Don't matter. I said,
Oh, it's road cats.
You never flew a road cat?
No.
That thing's been ran over 200 times, dried out in the sun, peel it off the road, flip that thing. Woo! It's a frisbee, dude.
All right, that's road cat. Another name for the gold camp, I
Oh
think.
my God.
Another name, Shad Perfect, Road Cat.
Dude, I growed up hearing all kinds of stuff. I'm like,
Swiftwater's road cat. See, that almost sounds like a bar and grill right there.
On it. Yeah.
Swiftwater's bar cat.
well, you could call it a road frisbee, but that could be anything ran over 200 times and dried out by the sun.
That's another Scottism.
That could be the name of your gold camp.
Road Cat.
Road cat.
I like it. It's got a good ring to it.
Kind of like Roadhouse, but it's a cat. Road cat.
Meow.
I'll have to open up a special club on the side of the trailer. You got to spend so much a month, come in and buy a beer for $1 a pop.
Oh my
I don't know. You lost me there.
Oh, you're gonna open a beer truck?
God.
You could do that. Like we got some biker groups and stuff like that. They got private clubhouses. But when you come in, you do a donation for $1 a beer.
Huh.
If you don't do a donation, you're kind of frowned upon a little bit. But
Oh, so they call it donation, so you don't have to get a liquor license?
Get your monocle, Scott. See that?
Yeah, I know.
That's not what
Monocle, sit down, play with your road cat.
Yeah, but I don't need a monocle to see you guys. It's just to read something.
Right, just for visual effects to make our evening. Just get your monocle, please. Pick it up this week. Go get it.
I think it's back up the trailer. I don't know.
All right, shoot up there and get it. But have it for Sunday.
Road cat.
Just don't understand, Scott. Just get it. Yeah, road cat. And pick up a road cat while you're out. We want to see.
Well, that's like
You know what? Pick up 2 while you're out. Oh, there you go. Turn his camera off again.
Where'd it go? I don't know how it happened.
There it
Anyway,
is.
there's an old term that used called road farming.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what that is, but it's like when you just get in a truck and you just go driving down roads you've never been through before, just to see where it goes.
They call that road farming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I called that exploring. Not
I'm so amazed. I do learn something every week.
yeah, pretty much, especially from Scott.
I do. Road cat.
I just learned you could fling a road cat like a frisbee.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
go kicking cow patties
Yeah,
Evidently.
on a mountain.
and pick up.
Hey, I'll tell you what, out here, you guys, we got free range cattle out here. And if you got a path where you're walking from like your wash plant to where you're digging and stuff like that, you're going to kick the freaking cow patties out of the path.
I wouldn't just walk around them.
I've seen these cow patties.
They are
yes.
big cow
They're
patties. They
huge.
are too. It is true.
Yeah, but they dry like in 4 days, they're dead as, they're just dry. Just kick them out of the way, and then you know it's not a snake.
Well, what if you
Because it doesn't bite, right?
kick it out of the way and it is a snake? Leave the cow patties alone. Just walk around them. They're fine there.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know, like 3 years ago, me and Lisa had that where we were going from like a long way, almost like 2 football fields to get down to the wash plant, taking our stuff. And it helped her out one day. She goes, she stopped and pointed it out to me. She goes, we already kicked the cow patties out of the way. And that looks like, and it walked up, and sure enough, it's a rattlesnake coiled up right in the middle of the thing. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
But Scott, what if the patty looks dry but it's still moist and you didn't realize it?
Yeah, I mean, because the outside will dry and crust up pretty fast.
this is
The
Arizona,
inside
guys.
is
I don't
moist.
think you have much of a, I don't think you have to decide whether it's green or not out here.
Why don't you do a video on that for us, Scott, and show us?
Especially the
No.
part of throwing them like a frisbee. I'm really curious. And I really would love to find a road cat and you demonstrate the proper
I
technique.
want to see both. I want to see you fling a cow patty like a frisbee and a road cat.
Well,
Yes.
number one, I
And
never
which
said
one
fling a
goes
cow patty,
further?
nothing. Then kick them out of the way.
Let's see which one
Hey,
goes
the next
further.
time you see a
But
rattler,
the road cat's always got his tail still on it. The rest of his body's just flat like the road sun dried. You just pull him up and fling him by his tail. It'll fly like a frisbee. You're good.
Just
I want a demonstration and a comparison.
the
demonstrate.
next time you do see a rattlesnake, try, if you don't scare it away, try to take a picture of it and see if we
Scare
can
it away.
Yeah, play with it.
Yeah.
Where do you think I got this picture at?
Be the
Oh,
snake.
that's your picture.
No, that's actually a snake that is out in the desert. I got several pictures with that big son of a gun.
That's your picture behind you? That's not
Yeah.
like, oh wow.
No, that's my picture.
Wait, duck down so we can see all of it.
Down.
Get out of the way, little
Oh
man.
wow, it does kind of look like gravel.
Duck down a little more, Scott.
Yeah, Lisa's like, no, don't get so close. I'm like, now you're getting me worried. It's freaking screwing me up. So quit it.
Well, that's why you need the telephoto lens, you know.
Well, no, I knew he can only strike. You can see his bend. He can only strike that far. Don't get in that distance. He's only half his body length.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, I'll still avoid them.
Scott Irwin, the snake wrangler.
But that was a good one, man. He was a fatty.
Yep.
He was.
Oh, but he blended in good though.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He does look like gravel. Ooh.
It does.
It's funny because that's the one I was sitting there on the phone in the shade tree talking to a good friend of mine, just taking a break, and I look over to my left, and that thing is straight in a line coming right for me, like 6 feet away. I was like, are you kidding me? What is with me in this chair? Because it seemed to like just draw snakes to it.
Really?
When I stood up, he did that right there. My buddy goes, that sounds like a rattlesnake. I'm like, good job, Kentucky. That's what it is.
What kind of chair is this?
I don't know. It's just that time of season, I guess, that a lot of the rattlesnakes through the day will crawl up in there trying to hunt for like mice and lizards because it was shade all day. And there was a lot of lizards, there's a lot of mice and ground squirrels around. So that's the only thing I could see because there was like that day I took a picture of that one. We seen 3 more that I had to relocate.
Ugh.
Because when I'm in the desert, I don't kill them. I just get them away from me. They can find their own way somewhere else.
Just fling them like a road cat.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in my backyard, okay, I know you're probably going to come back sometime, pop him.
All right,
But
Scott.
if I'm out in the desert, don't do it.
Okay. Are you done?
Maybe.
Scott's never done. He just knows.
Just saying.
Just saying.
All right. Is there anything else we forgot that I lost while Scott was going on?
Will you quit it?
We're
Well,
just joking.
I'm just anxious. I know people are slowly starting to go back out. to find gold and treasure and metal detect and camp. So be careful when you go out. Share your pictures and your adventures on Gold Prospector Space.
Heck yeah.
You know, love to see it.
All right. And don't forget to join us Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here. Hopefully, Shad and Kathleen will make it Sunday. Wait, what's going on Sunday?
There's something going on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Hey, wait, by the way, I want to say something out here on live radio too. If anybody's out there is a big beach metal detectorist, please get with me on in the chat room, or not the chat room, but the messages on Go Prospector Space. I'd like to talk.
Beach detectors. Oh.
Yeah, like the people that really like hunt the beach like almost every day. That, you know.
Well, I know why Gold. That's like a source of income that he does.
He finds rings.
He finds all sorts of stuff out in California.
Yeah.
Right?
Talk to him.
Well, why Gold? You might be the guy, man. Get with me.
There you go. All right. So Sen's got a message. If you do a lot of beach metal detecting. Right?
And we're not responsible for Scott.
No, not
all views and opinions are expressly Scott.
And only Scott. Agreed. Thank you, Shad, for that disclaimer. The Scott disclaimer.
Just in case Scott's going to talk to
Scott clause.
you know.
Yeah.
Scott.
I like that, Kathleen. The Scott clause. Oh, mercy. Well, like I said, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We hope you have a great week. And I guess
good night, Gold Diggers.
We're out of here.
And remember, get out there and
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Start living before living.
No, I was waiting for you to cut in, so that's why I didn't do it.
For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.
And we're clear on Spreaker. No, Scott, say goodbye to YouTube.
Take care, guys. Have a good night, Gold Diggers.
Good night, everybody.